Hello everyone, happy Super Bowl Sunday. I've got slow cooker Sloppy Joe's going to make for dinner tonight, and it's Fauxbo flip through. It's the first. I hope everyone has been having fun in their Fauxbo or your Hobonichi. I haven't really done much in the art department this month, trying to get recover from my foot being broken, but at least I've been able to do this every single day, so I was happy about that. I'm still using my Miguel Ruiz book, and I have my Hobo Cousin cover, and I like using this board, the pencil board from the Hobo store, to put behind my pages when I watercolor them, so that doesn't bleed through onto the next page, and it just gives a nice sturdy, thing. I made one for my baby Hobo out of, and I think I showed you this before, out of the cutting mat stuff. And I really like this stuff better because it's got like, because it's a cutting mat, it's got like a funny, it's not a pebbly finish, but because you can write on it very well, but it is a little bit like sandpaper-ish. And it grips into, I don't have any problems with this thing falling out of my book at all. Nothing. It stays there. So I'm thinking about using this for when I'm writing on lettered paper or unlined paper that I need to follow guides for. I'm thinking about using this for that, and making a larger one out of the cutting board, the dollar store cutting board stuff, so that it stays put. I put this paper clip on there, and I'll paper clip a couple of pages, but it doesn't always stay on. This is not a very sturdy paper clip. It's okay, but it will flip off and this thing will go flying too. So just so you know, I've been using my case that Corey Scherer sent to me. She went shopping last weekend and put it out there on Facebook, and so I've got this thing and asked if anybody wanted one, and since I haven't been able to get out, I said yay. So I've got a bunch of stuff in here now. I've got my Bic grip pencils, pens, which I like. They're very nice, and I've got my pencil and my 0.1 micron. I've got some washi tape in here, and some stickers that Corey sent to me, and a glue stick, and so and it still has plenty of room to fill up more stuff. So that's what I've been using, and as well as my little watercolor kit. So here is my flip through for February. I see stuff on Facebook and I really like it, so sometimes I borrow the way that a person has done it, but I always like to give credit to that person. Julia Lee Kim had a similar page, and she put a quote on there from Groucho Marx. Each morning when I open my eyes, I say to myself, I, not events, have the power to make me happy or unhappy today. I can choose which it shall be. Yesterday is dead. Tomorrow hasn't arrived yet. I have just one day today, and I'm going to be happy in it. We all need to remember that. I did a little Zen tango, and we didn't do much because of my foot, and Bob wasn't feeling well. I brought him home that cold from the hospital, and so we just sat around and watched old movies. Watched a Betty Davis and Carl Malden movie called Dead Ringer. That was pretty good. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Another lazy day. I thought about my goals that I wanted to achieve for this year. Also, I borrowed a word for the year, which would be thrive. I've got to take care of myself. I'm so used to taking care of other people. I've got to take care of myself physically, spiritually, and mentally, with the emphasis on physically. Make more time for my art process, and making weekly, monthly, daily goals to achieve the above. So hopefully I can improve on all those things this year. And I borrowed my word of the year from Wendy Roberts, Hoodlums not times 4. And my banner idea came from Mitz. So I borrow a lot sometimes, especially when I'm uninspired, but you guys inspire me. So this is a kind of a crappy day. I was bummed about my stupid foot, so I started playing with one of my Christmas presents, which my hubby gave me a one of those Pogos, those little printers, and I just love it. Poor Bob is still ill. I did I set it up to do a Fauxbo flip, but I did not do it. And I got some Happy Mail from Corey, which contains stickers for the next upcoming holidays. I didn't want to go anywhere. It was only 10 degrees and then -3, and the wind chill was -20. I had to go to the doctor. A friend took me, so I scheduled a blood test. I have to take my blood once a month, so I scheduled that for the same day. They taught me how to go up and down the steps with my goofy cane and this foot thing. And took a half an hour to fill out all the paperwork at the doctor's. And he flew in for like 2 minutes, and you're fine. See you in 1 month. Bye. So I paid, you know, some money for that. 2 minutes. And my friend took me shopping, and we came home and I was pooped out. Oh, and what was my quote for that day? Oh, we are Alfred E. Newman. We are living in a world today where lemonade is made from artificial flavors and furniture polish is made from real lemons. So everything is screwed up. So, went back to work on that Wednesday. After learning how to walk up and down steps. My office, I have to walk up and down steps, so I started cleaning it up. It was really cold outside. Can't, you know, so glad I don't have to go outside anymore. So I just watched some GH, and now I've got the cold and I can't breathe. I have Winter of My Discontent. The boot, or whatever this Velcro thing on, has 1,500 slips of Velcro on it, and it is higher up than my shoe, so then it makes everything all, you know, disjointed, and my hips hurt, my knees hurt, and it's just, I'm just complaining this month a lot. So the next month next day I decided not to think about any of this stuff, and dreaming about spring and wanting to paint outside and eat all the stuff, asparagus, rhubarb. So I was trying to get myself in a better frame of mind, and the wind chill today was 20 to 30 below. But I didn't have to go outside. And here's a Saturday. I filled up my rose gold Twisby that I got for Christmas, and I put it in with J. Herbin's Smoky Gray, and it has gold flakes in it, and it's really cool. And I worked in my sketchbook. I made cookies for Bob, so I guess I had a pretty productive day. When I say I feel old. Yeah. One of my favorite stores down in Milwaukee, where I go to when I visit my family, is closing after 50 years. So 2 stores this year are closing, and I always visit when I go down there and buy art supplies, and now they're going to be gone. So thank God for the internet. That's all I got to say. Here's Sunday, Packer Day, so I was having fun watching that, and still feeling crappy between the cold and my foot. Here's my not done list. Just go push it ahead. Now it's the 12th of January. I do taxes and accounting, so it was stress out time, and this is the time I think about all the crap that I have to do at 4 a.m. So that's when I am my most productive. I get my to-do lists in my head and I'm wide awake. So I was really tired after I went back to sleep, and I didn't accomplish much that day at all. And I said, January, not feeling the love, thinking about putting diapers on my dog. He's getting old, he's having problems. But here's all the crap that has happened to me in January. Always get some kind of type of sickness, usually a cold, flu. Start of stressed out tax season. My mother passed away in January. In 2008, I went to the hospital with a bowel obstruction, and then now this year, number 5, my foot broke. So January is not, I could just exit right off. But if I could go down to Florida, I would. Here's my little dog. He did an accident, and he acts like it's not him. Don't look at me. Did a picture of an old adding machine, and my dad used to lug this thing home, and I swear it's a weapon. It's so heavy, but he could actually add up 6 figures in his head. He was also an accountant, so that's where I got my genes from as far as that. There's a silly dog picture that Bob gave to me to put in my book. I got some cute little stamps and some inks from Amazon, and some books on how to, I showed you the last week for Let's Draw Illustration School, and catching up on some episodes of Chicago Fire. My eyes are crossed from crazy taxes and so many numbers. We're having our January thaw. It was 36 today, and I made an easy dinner, burgers and chips and pickles. And one of my friends had made some paperwhites bloom, so I drew them, and I did a crappy Zentangle. Friday, TGIF. Work, we're not going there, and I got a phone call from my friend Nancy, who also is named Nancy, so I had a good time talking to her, and I played my violin that night, and I made a birthday card for my little Keenan, my grandson, who loves the Ninja Turtles. And the Ninja Turtles reminded me of pistachio macaroons, and I said, I want cookies. Also, today was my 200th day posting in my Fauxbo. I started July 1st of last year, so I was really happy about that I made that milestone. And then I talked about Keenan's little day, and both Bob and I were feeling really crappy, so we both took a nap, and I was starting to put away my Christmas stuff, January 17th. Baking more cookies. Cookies always help. And Green Bay game tomorrow. I made a card for someone who had passed away, and I dusted off my card making supplies, the die cutting machine, and it was kind of nice to use it. I hadn't used any of my die cuts since my son and his fiance came to stay with us in this past summer, And so they stayed in my art room, so I had to, you know, put away a lot of stuff so they could have room. We sat down and watched the game, and I made grilled cheese and pickles, green and gold lunch. I was all psyched up, and then they lost. So no Super Bowl for us this year. The next day was the 4th anniversary of my mom's passing. So I drew a picture of her when she was 16 and sitting on top of a Model T. So I talked about how, you know, how her life was. Did she have any regrets? Did she get all the dreams that she wanted to get? You know, have all the life that she wanted to lead. So that was a sad day for me. The next day was my little Keenan Beanan's birthday. Here's a picture I printed out on my printer. I just love it. Now my daughter can send me pictures from Milwaukee, and I can print them out for my safekeeping. So here, he's 7 years old now, and I talked about here how I called him my little Eskimo baby because the year he was born, it was really cold, like 40 degrees below zero, the wind chill. The NFC Championship playoffs were in Green Bay. It was the last day Brett Favre played. And when I drove down there to see him, there was no one on the street. I was the only car, and I traveled 160 miles that day. 80 miles there, 80 miles back. I was the only car on the road. It's not surprising in Green Bay. Not surprising at all. So I always called him my little Eskimo baby. You know, still stressed out. All sorts of crap going on in my head with all of the accounting stuff and what I should be doing. I cut this out of the little Hobonichi book or pamphlet that came with my stuff, and my quote of the day is relax. That's what Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, said for the Packers early on in the season. I had a pitiful dinner, frozen dinner, and pot pies for Bob, frozen pot pie, so yuck. And I said, how tax season feels. And it's like a wrecking ball hitting me. 4 more seasons until retirement. Yay! I say I'm too old for this. And here is my rendition of the Scream, putting me in it. And I scream frequently during this time of the year. And I figured that the guy who painted this was probably an accountant too. And these guys had to be from the IRS. So I had enough. Saturday, art day. I spent the entire day doing art stuff. I loved it. So I made a color chart book. I played with my Copics. I started watching color pencil tutorial. I filmed a video last weekend, and I had an easy day with again hamburgers, chips, and pickles. Then tomorrow I will do housework, but I spent the entire day doing art related stuff, and I have happy me. Saturday the 25th, all my housework. I baked some more cookies for us, and I actually cooked something. So I made even cornbread. How do you like that? I was feeling Martha Stewart-ish. This day, Bob gave me this cartoon that came from the New Yorker, and it says snow falling on accountants. So that's what was happening today, except I wasn't outside. And here is my rendition of my Zentangle Tuesday, and I got this off of Pinterest, and I kind of changed it up a little bit, and I put the woman's name designed by Jamie Locke. And I really feel that it's important if you are inspired by somebody, and you know, do their work, that you should recognize them. So thank you very much, Jamie. And more stuff about taxes, accounting. Here's my Washi Wednesday. And I had a fun time doing that with a Zentangle, or a dangle, and had a lot of fun just, you know, messing around with that, putting dots on there and different types of pens. And here's my Stamping Thursday, and talked about my job. And Draw It Friday, I had a fun time drawing Elsa. I went to see the MGM studios down in Florida. One year I took my daughter to Disney World, and I just saw where the artists worked, and all of their art supplies that were all around their desk, and a beautiful light box that went around, and I'm like, oh, I would just love to work here. And but now I've got all the art supplies all around me too, but now I can draw what I want to draw, but I still would have loved to work for Disney. And last day of January, I took off my boot and I went to the grocery store. We had to get pills. All my friends were busy doing grandma things with their families, so I took off my boot and put my foot in my shoe, and I took Bob's scooter that he used to use and went in there in the car with it so I wouldn't have to walk while I was doing my groceries. I put a whole bunch of shopping bags on the grocery things, and so it was okay. I didn't have a problem. I was awfully doggone tired though, and so I came back home and took a nap. And then we had a light dinner and TV and hobo sketching, and it's the countdown to Barry. 24 days till Barry. Something to look forward to. And I already did my thing for today. I've just got to put in my weather. And today is St. Bridget's Day, Ireland's first day of spring. And so I drew her and her little cross, and that's going to start our February. So I'm going to think spring. And I wanted to show you just a few pages out of my little baby Hobonichi. Here's my January. I'm done decorating that. I'm going to color in some of these things, but I haven't done that yet. I started decorating my February page. Great washi tape from Corey, stickers from Corey for Valentine's Day. Here are the big lips for Berry Day, the 24th, Milwaukee, I'm there. And then I put a few stickers on for March. And I've showed most of this stuff before, but I've been working with those that little drawing Let's Draw book, and then I come back and color them, so I'm having a good time. Here's a smaller picture of my mother on that Model T, and it was the day that she passed away. And I mostly do journaling in here, but if I don't have too much to write, I will draw those little people from that book, or something from my imagination, saying about creating a balance between, I've been doing so much sketchbook work, and I want to do a sketchbook video flip for you guys to show you all the improvement that I have had in figure drawing from start to finish. So I want to do that, and I've got to get my butt together for the Dare to Draw series, so I'll be working on that too. And just journaling and little doodles that I want to come back and color in. And then I really like the fact that it gives you a little, you know, what coming up February, something to focus on. So I want to do, you know, monthly goals and track my food, exercise, take it easy, just relax and enjoy my days instead of worrying and stuff like that. Different things that I want to do for February. So that's about it for my flip this month. And I hope everyone else is having a great time with their Fauxbo or Hobonichis. And oh, I also got these color erase colored pencils. I want to use these in this book and try them out. But you can actually, these are not water soluble like a watercolor crayon, or a watercolor pencil, but it is a little bit water soluble so that you can blend it a little bit. And also it blends with a Q-tip, so I wanted to work with these a little bit, and then you could also erase most of it out. Depends on how hard you push it. But I wanted to work with these. These are really cheap. They were only like $12 at Blick for these. They're made by Prismacolor. And I wanted to, I'll do a little bit of, a little demo in there, show you what it looks like in the Hobo, or the Fauxbo, and then in my little Hobo, and with the various techniques that you can use in this. And so for you're supposed to be able to use this just like a full set, you know, with combining some of the colors together. So stay tuned too for that video. I hope everyone have a great Sunday and happy Super Bowl day, and we will see you soon. Bye bye now.